Okay, I'm going to get you started on making a picture using Desmos. I'm going to go ahead and draw a house just because that's fairly simple to draw. And you're welcome to draw a house, or if you look at something else that you'd like to draw using Desmos, feel free. But I'm going to encourage you to start with a house. So here's what I'm going to do first, just to get going. I'm going to type y equals, I don't know, how about 1/3. Remember to use the right arrow key to get out of the fraction x plus 6. Okay, and I'm going to call that a roof line on my house. By the way, I got those lines to be nice and dark by going over here to graph settings and making sure I was in projector mode. Okay, that makes the lines darker for you. Okay, and so that's one side of my roof, and then I can make another side of the roof by just making y equals negative 1/3. Remember, you use the fraction, the slash key to make a fraction, x plus 6. Okay, well, there you can see my two roofs. If I want to change the color here, I can go to edit this and then change this color over here to orange so that they're the same. Okay, and I'll click done here. And if I want the edges of the house, maybe I'll make a vertical line right here at say x equals -4. That makes a vertical line right there, and x equals 4 makes another vertical line there. Maybe I'll change this to purple to match it. Okay, and there we go. Well, you're probably looking at this going, Mr. Neckham, that is a really stupid looking house. Okay, here's the line right over here, but you got all this extra stuff. Excuse me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this line. I'm going to change this line right here so it only goes from there to there. And watch how I do this. I'm going to go back to that line. That's y equals 1/3 x plus 6. I'm going to type exactly this. I'm going to type a curly brace. Okay, and then I'm going to type the number I want it to start at. Let's make it go from, actually, let's give it a bit of an eve. So we'll go back to here to negative, what is that, 4.5. Okay, so negative 4.5. Okay, is less than x is less than 0. Okay, and you can see now that this segment now goes from -4.5 to 0 and stops. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the other part of the roof line. I'm going to go curly brace, start at 0, less than x, less than, and I think I want it to stop at 4.5. Okay, there you go. So now my roof line starts and stops in a more reasonable looking place. Well, I've still got these vertical lines over here that are looking kind of dumb. So I think what I'll do is come over here and I'll do the same thing, except now I'll use y's. Okay, so 0. I think I'll have it start down here on the x-axis. So, sorry, curly brace. 0 is less than y is less than, let's see, what is that? About 4 and 4.7 maybe? Oh, let's try it. 4.7. Yeah, close enough for government work. Okay, so that's working. Okay, and then how about this one? Will go same thing. Excuse me, curly brace. 0 less than y less than 4.7. Okay, so now I've got the walls of my house there, and I could put the floor in there if I want to, or just rely on the x-axis to be the floor, and so I've got these things starting to take shape here. There's a few options. Let's say I wanted to do a window, say right here. Well, that'd be what? Y equals 2.5, and I'm sorry. Yeah, y equals 2.5 there, and y equals 3.5 there. Okay. Y equals 2.5. And I better make that only go from, say, 2 to, let's go 2 to 3. Okay, that works. Okay, and y equals 3.5. Okay, let's have that also go from 2 to 3. Oops, I Forgot my curly brace there. Better go back and do that correctly. There we go. So there's the sides of the top and bottom of the window. I could change the colors if I want. Let's go ahead and go x equals 2. Okay. But I only want that to go from 2.5 up to 3.5. Okay, that's working. And x equals 3. And it'll also go from 2.5 to 3.5. Okay. Cool, so there's my window. Well, that's a lot of stuff. They're starting to get quite a list of stuff here. So I think what I'm going to do is do something that kind of makes things a little bit easier to manage. I'm going to create a folder right here. I'm going to call it right window. Okay. And then I can take this thing right here and just slide it right into right window. And same with this one. Just go over here till it makes an arrow. I'm sliding all these pieces of the window into this folder called right window. Notice they're all underneath this right window. And I want the, I think it's this part right here as well. Okay. All that stuff's under right window. Now if I press this right here, it puts it all in there. So everything's kind of stashed in there, but I don't have to look at it. So now I can create more things. So have a lot of fun with this. If you want to make the sun, for instance, you'd need something round. The equation for a round thing, you could do y equals the square root of, let's try 9 minus x. Wow, that's not working. If I go 3 squared minus x squared, okay, there's a round thing. That's a little bit big, so let's make this 1. Yeah, not bad. Okay, but there's a problem. Nobody wants the sun in the middle of things, so I need to be able to take this thing and move it. Man, I think I even want it smaller. So 0.5. There you go. But it needs to be somewhere else besides right in the middle of the house. I kind of want it up here somewhere. So I think what I'm going to do is move the whole thing to the right about 4 units. And you might remember that if you take the x and you replace it with x minus 4, look at that. It moved the whole thing 4 units to the right, just like it did before. Okay? But I also want to bump it up, say here to 6. So I'll just go out the back door here, outside the square root thing, and plus 6, and now it's up there. That's nice, except that's only half the sun. So what I can do, this is kind of cheap, I think if I take this thing and copy it and paste it right there, and then make it negative, there you go. Okay? So I got obviously a color problem, but there's a circle there if you want. Call that the sun, and you could knock yourself out with other fun kinds of things. All right, that should get you started. Have a great time with it.